Konnichiwa. Hello, one and all. This is the Keno's Otaku with you today. Playing something a little bit different for my, I guess I'm calling my summer series. This is Idol Manager on the PlayStation 5. I think it might have been around this time last year when I was doing the Year of Yakuza. When I got to Yakuza 5, there was one segment in that where we were playing as Kiryu Kazuma's quote-unquote daughter. I want to say Hamura. I think my brain shot, I do apologize, but anyway, there's a segment in the Yakuza game where we were the young girl as she was training to be a big pop idol in Japan. And while that had like next to nothing to do with the Yakuza games, felt like it had no place in a Yakuza game, it was probably the most fun I had in that game. Just being able to go around and make progress with the character, getting better with skills, and doing little mini games, like rhythm games. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that in this game, but I did make a comment that if there was any kind of like Idol Manager game, I would want to play it. And so here we are. I've had this game for a little while, but I wanted to wait and play it. Basically, the theme being like a summer type job. I don't know exactly how long of a series this is going to be. Preferably, I would want it to be, the majority of the summer. But I do have another game to play after this if we either get to a point where I'm stuck in the game, or I'm not having fun in the game, or I beat the game. I had seen some fairly positive things that were said about this game, but also that, it came out on, I think it was mostly a PC game, but it came out on consoles, PS5 and Switch, and apparently the Switch version, it's like you could play it, but the user interface is just very compact and kind of clunky and awkward. It's possible it might be the same on here. We'll just have to see. My main... So I was worried that I would get this game started up and I would not be able to understand anything. But thankfully, you go in here and yeah, it's automatically set to English, for me at least, which is awesome. So I don't have any worries about starting it up and not knowing what I'm doing. That could still happen though, because I guess the manager part of this can be pretty complex. I did do a little mini research before this just to see recommendations as far as like do's and don'ts. Like on the screen here, it shows that you got 5 girls. I'm assuming that you could potentially run a company that's got like a couple dozen if you wanted. And I don't know if there's like a difficulty level on this. We're gonna do story mode, obviously. And depending on how long that lasts, might go through that and then try to do stuff on my own, see how it goes, or just try to make our way through the story and then call it good there. But I may have to pause every now and then just to, maybe go on to Google and look up any recommendations. The main things I know off the bat is I think the rounded or the preferred number of idols you want to have starting off is 3 to 4, but starting off also goes into basically throughout, I think, the majority of the game. I think they say maybe once you've been going for like a while, you could, if you feel comfortable enough, you could expand. But they say early on, like anything over 4 is asking for trouble. So yeah, we do have some stuff here. I'm hoping these come back up at some point in the game as well, just because I'm not gonna be able to memorize all this. And this this screen here is on the inside of the game case, but it's all in Japanese, so I don't know what it says. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just go with this. And then our group name is just TKO. Yeah, our rival will be female. Tutorial, probably better have that on just because, like, the last manager type game I played was that Mad Games Tycoon, and it did have a bit of a tutorial, but after that, it was kind of half-assed, I would say, and it just didn't feel like the most ideal version of a tutorial. So hopefully this will kind of hold my hand a lot longer. Okay, we do have difficulty. Oh, really? No fail state, money's not an issue, not recommended for first-time players. Challenging experience, it may take some time to figure out a strategy that works for you. Recommended for the first playthrough, and then try this if you're up for a new challenge, not recommended for first-time players. So it's interesting that they even have on here, like with this one, saying, yeah, don't do this one. They want, ideally I would go with the easiest one, but since they, it says no fail state, money's not an issue, that part I think is important because ideally, well, I guess in that situation it'd be a case of, well, if there's money's not an issue, just buy everything. So yeah, we'll go with normal. At least until we hit a roadblock or it just becomes not fun. Oh, is that all you said? Okay. Oh, are you here to meet with Fujimoto? Sorry to break it to you, but he's not here right now. If you had an appointment scheduled for now, well, you might be waiting for a while. Fujimoto has a habit of keeping people waiting. Where is Fujimoto? Hey, do I look like I know? I don't even work here. I mean, it's not like anyone works here, right? Not at the moment, at least. If you want to meet anyone who works for Fujimoto, well, you showed up a week too late. What happened a week ago? Oh, you didn't know? Well, this building might look like a ghost town now, but it used to be home to some very lucrative businesses. They were the kind of business that turn a very large profit, but they did most of their business in cash, if you catch my drift. Fujimoto runs the kind of business that favors profits over morals, kicking it old school with the world's oldest profession. course, the local law enforcement were usually willing to turn a blind eye as long as they got a cut of the action. But ever since our city was chosen to host the upcoming summer games, the higher-ups have started cracking down on that sort of thing. I guess Fujimoto decided to clean up his act before the police had to get involved, which would explain why this building is now empty. And some of the neighborhood's finest massage therapists are now finding themselves out of job. But I guess their loss is your gain, right? That's what you're meeting with Fujimoto about? Well, as best as I could gather, Fujimoto's goal was to clean up his acts, but let me give you a piece of advice. People don't change their ways so easily, you dig? If you want to run things squeaky clean, you'll be running against the grain. Okay, well, who are you? Me? I'm just a concerned citizen giving out some free advice. Is that enough gossip? I'm just trying to impress upon you that Fujimoto is probably desperate to fill the space with some kind of business. Whoever fills it could probably get away with running it at a loss for the foreseeable future. One of the benefits of not caring where your money comes from means you can accumulate a lot of it, and Fujimoto spends a lot of time not caring where his money comes from. Anyway, I've already said too much. Enjoy your meeting with Fujimoto, alright? You just said he's not here. What are you talking about? You left. Okay, now I'm just by myself. And I'm still by myself. And I just fell asleep. Chapter 1. Right. And yeah, in their culture, last name usually comes before the first name. Ah, you're Otaku Kansas, right? Sorry to have kept you waiting. Good to finally meet you in person. I must admit, I'm a bit surprised to see you're so young, but entertainment does seem to be a young person's game, especially when it comes to managing talent. I'm going to guess that they are going to say that this Fujimoto here is ancient at 40 years old, and I'm 2 years younger. So yeah, I'm not so young as you think. Anyway, your age is less important to me than your experience, which was enough to impress me. Should I be happy, or should I be the kind that's like, oh, I'm nothing? I'm glad you're impressed. The thing that caught my eye, however, wasn't your education or even your most recent work experience. I was most impressed by the fact that you worked at a convenience store in high school. Most people wouldn't brag about working at a convenience store, but to become a part-time manager at such a young age is certainly unusual, especially given that I happen to know that convenience store. It's in a pretty rough and tumble part of town. You're someone who knows how to get things done, aren't you? Managing an idle agency is exactly the same as running a convenience store, but you have to deal with a lot of the same problems. Young employees who are trying to balance school and work, running on a tight budget, keeping customers happy. If you know the business fundamentals, I think you'll do well here. And if you don't know everything you need to, I hope you'll learn fast. So anyway, I have the paperwork here if you're ready to sign. Your terms are, well, let's just say that they're the best terms I was able to get on such short notice. Anyway, I don't need to think of me as your boss. You're the boss. I'm just a sponsor, an investor, if you will. This is your enterprise, and I'm just buying myself a piece of the action. When it comes to starting capital, I'm afraid I can't offer the much in the way of cash. My investments have left me very liquid, and I'm taking a loss on a significant portion of my portfolio, you see. Part of the reason this building happens to be vacant. But I can offer you use of the bottom floor rent-free. Pretty lucky for my loss to turn into your gain, isn't it? This kind of generosity isn't typical for me, so don't get used to it. Why are you doing this? I already said it, didn't I? I just want a piece of the action. You do all the hard work, and if you turn out to be a success, I get some of the prestige by association. If it fails, well, it won't be the first business venture I've seen fail. Plus, the truth is, I need someone to fill this property. If you let a space go unused for too long, it can start to look run down, and that can affect the value of the surrounding property. It's not good to have a building that never has anyone leaving or entering, but if you start expanding and taking up more space, you're going to have to pay rent for the space you move into. It's a bit early to worry about that, though. For the time being, I assume you'll be focused on getting some starting talent, training them up, doing basic promotion, and most importantly, getting yourself a fan base. I don't know everything about the entertainment industry, but the one thing I do know is that you're nothing without your fans. An idol group lives or dies based on the size of the following it gets. Of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention to your bank account, but if you're not increasing the size of your following, you're probably doing something wrong. Plus, there's me to think about. One of the reasons I wanted to sponsor an idol group is so that one day I can turn on the TV or pick up a newspaper and see people talking about something I helped create. So go out there and make me proud. So, are we ready to formalize the agreement? Or is there anything I forgot to cover? Oh, there was a woman who told me things about you. Huh? Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Probably some local gossip monger. You might hear rumors about me. Some are true, most aren't. I used to own several businesses in this neighborhood, but I live on the other side of town and I'm not always the most involved person. That seems to have lent me a certain mystique to the people who know who I am but aren't used to seeing my face around here. I hope you don't expect to be working too closely with me. Like I said, you're the boss. I'm just offering you the resources. I'll drop by every now and then, but I try to stay out people's hair. Plus, I've got other ventures competing for my attention. But if you're putting on a big show, let me know and I'll try to stop by. Hey, getting VIP tickets to every event is supposed to be one of the perks of backing this whole venture, right? Hey, running an idol group can be complicated. It's challenging, even for those who have experience. A comprehensive guide would be useful, yeah? I would not mind getting a few pointers. I thought so. That's why I'd like to give you this binder. It was put together by one of my former associates, and it lays out SOP for a lot of things that you'll need to do when running an idol group. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures, for those who do not know. If you work in any kind of retail, that is a thing that comes up quite a bit. SOP. That sounds useful. Documents like the ones you'll find in this binder are the lifeblood of any organization. They're a way to formalize the concepts so that the organization is never reliant on a single person. Since all their knowledge is stored into a form that allows anyone to pick up and take over the role. So I'm not the first person who's had to do this. I've sponsored lots of businesses before, Mr. Otaku. I'll leave this binder in your capable hands. It consists of a series of lessons on various topics. Anyway, I think it's about time that I get out of your hair and let you actually start doing your job. Any questions before I turn you loose? How about any last minute advice? I think the best lessons are the ones you learn by trying and failing. How's that for advice? Harsh, but noted. Don't get discouraged if things don't work out. A lot of starting businesses fail. To be honest, for an inexperienced person like you running a business, it wouldn't be that surprising of an outcome. That might sound pessimistic, but hopefully it takes some of the pressure off. Every venture like this is ultimately a gamble. If you go bankrupt, I won't personally hold it against you. After all, money isn't everything, but it does tend to make life a lot easier, so try to make sure your spending is judicious. So, yeah, that looks like quite a bit of money right there, 6 million yen, but in all reality, that's not exactly a huge amount. Let me take a drink real quick. Okay. Welcome to the tutorial. Before we begin, here are a few cautionary points. Once the tutorial is finished, it cannot be restarted. This also applies to saving or loading during the tutorial. Is this our save? No, that's a log. And then let's quit the tutorial. So, I'm trying to think now. Off the top of my head, that's not a whole lot. So, like a thousand yen is let me see if I can remember right. I think it's taking the last two zeros off is a general. It's obviously more specific than that, but you could. I think that's kind of the rule of thumb. It's like if it's a certain amount, you take off two zeros, and that's about what the value would be. So like 100 yen would be like $1. 1,000 yen would be $10. So that's more along the lines of actually that's probably closer to like $500,000. I could be obviously well, I could be on probably dead wrong, but in theory I think that's how that would go. It's like so yeah, 6 million or like even 1 million yen would just be like $100,000. All right, that's enough rambling. Let's continue. There are limitations to the size of an idol agency. So you could have up to 15 floors, you could have up to 50 idols, and up to 20 staff. During events, these limitations are ignored. So let's start the tutorial. And like I said, if I remember right, we will not be expanding floors for quite a while, and the number of idols that we'd have probably will not go over 4. I might start off with 3 and then maybe get another one, or depending on what the price is, might just start with 1 and stick with that for a bit. And then as far as staff goes, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure that's probably stuff to help with like getting things set up for events and stuff, but for now we'll probably might not even do any staff people, just be me and the idols. Click on an unused part of the building to build a room there. Move the cursor over an unused part of the building with the left stick and select it. To start with, let's create your office. After all, you need a place to work. Move the cursor over to the top left area of the screen with left stick and select your office. And we're already down 500,000 yen. Open the staff tab located in the operations menu on the left. You can toggle between tabs with the L1 and left stick. Oh, okay, so staff. It's you! Each staffer is represented by a card on their menu. You're the first, and so far the only staffer at TKO. On the staff menu, you can click on a staffer to change their nickname or to fire them. Of course, you can't fire yourself, but you could give yourself a nickname if you'd like. As the card indicates, you currently are not assigned to any room. How about we move you over to that newly created producer's office? Grab your card and bring yourself over to the office. Position the cursor over the card and press square to grab it, and press it once more to let go. All right, so grab and drop. Nice, look at you, already hard at work. This is the start of your journey as an idol manager. On the bottom left corner, you can see the current date. The current date ends when the green progress bar fills up. The days go by fast, don't they? So, by the game standards, it is Thursday, July 15th of 2021. If you need time to think or plan your next move, you could pause the game by clicking on the pause button on the bottom of the screen. The play button will resume the time, and fast forward will cause time to move at an accelerated pace. You can also toggle these using the right button on your controller. Time will only pass when you're on the screen. Anytime you're experiencing a story event, time will pause automatically. You can't have an idol group without idols. It's time to hold some auditions. You could choose to hold a local, regional, or nationwide audition. Making a wider talent search with regional or nationwide will increase the chances of getting a highly talented idol, but will also cost a lot more. There's also a cooldown for holding high-tier auditions. Auditions are planned from your office. Click on your office and select auditions from the menu. You can then choose to hold a regional or local audition. Yikes. Yeah, look at that money. So, silver, gold, and platinum are what you could get. Platinum is obviously the one you would want to go for, but the chances of that are super, like, oh, I guess. Oh man, look at those. Like, even just a 1% chance if you're spending 10 million yen to do a nationwide search. I think just because we're starting off, we gotta go local. It's just, yeah, the chances are gonna be very minimal, but we cannot be just splurging our money just to hope for the best. So we'll hold the local talent search. The talent scout begins. It'll take a few days for the audition to finish. Oh. So I'm going to be sitting in this office doing nothing for 3 days, huh? Unpause the flow of time to view the audition results. Press right button on your controller or the play button to unpause. Right. As you can see, your portrait has a progress bar that will fill up as your audition gets closer to finishing. Remember, if you want time to progress faster, you can always press the fast forward button. Just make sure not to lose track of time. What did I just do there? I hit left thinking that it would go back and it didn't, so I'm not sure what I just did. Did I fire myself? No? Okay, that's something else. Okay. Oh, right. We gotta continue. Alright, it's a brand new day and the talent scouting is finished. Time to look at the audition candidates to see, decide who to hire. Click. Oh, better pause. Click on the audition icon over your head to see the candidates. Every audition finds 5 idols. Who they are is a mystery. Let's click on one of them to get started. Well, the silhouettes, I don't know if that's just generic or if that's actually going to show who's behind them. Oh, which one? I guess we'll start with you. Each idol has 4 stats that are based on their appearance, and the 4 stats that are based on their talents. Next to each stat, you'll see 2 numbers. The first number is the current value of their stat. The second, in brackets, is their potential. You can think of the potential as a soft cap. Once an idol reaches their potential in a certain stat, it'll be much harder to raise that stat through training. Each idol has a unique trait. Some traits are beneficial, while others can be more of a hindrance than a help. You could click here to hire this girl to be an idol in your group, but hold up, before we hire her, let's take a look at the other candidates. Try clicking on each of the other idols to see how they stack up. Okay, so can I don't want to close it, but this is annoying. I don't want it on the screen because it's blocking like what's on there. Can I hit this to make it? No, that doesn't do anything. Alright. Well, anyway. Fukutome Yuka, aged 19, is a warrior. The cuteness is off the charts. she's funny and smart, is an okay dancer, but her vocal is not great. And it's like, it definitely has a potential there, but it looks like because this is in the red, that means it's going to be harder. I'm assuming that means it's going to be harder to work with that. Or no, I guess that just means that's her weakest trait. And then, of course, everything else is stronger. Don't really... I gotta be very careful with what I say. Obviously, she's 19, so that part alone helps. But when it comes to certain stats, it's like, do you really want to be focusing on that? I think... Well, the thing is, her dancing is not too good either. But... you know, the cuteness, I think, is a strong pull. People see her, they say, kawaii, like, she looks so adorable, whatever. That might draw people in. But it's because she can't sing. It's like they come in and try to hear her, and they're like, no. Okay, so, for our first person, I guess I say, because I guess this is the thing I don't know for sure. With the search, it says it'll bring up 5, but does that mean I could pick all 5? Or with each search, I can only pick one of the 5. So let's go ahead and check out the others. We'll start at the other end here. Watanabe Ai, 23 years old, which, honestly, depending on how you look at it, for some reason, I feel like this is based off of my idle knowledge from the Yakuza games. 23 is like at that age where they're a real cutthroat. They're like, you are old, you're a has-been. Even though 23 is perfectly fine for an age like that. But for them, they're just like, starting fairly young, like 13. So yeah, technically, if if an idol starts as young as 13, that's 10 years in the business, and a lot of times that's it. That's like the most you could probably get. But anyway, back to her stats. Not cool. She is pretty. That alluring, I'll just call it that to be safe. So very well, that's one of her stronger ones. Her vocals are very good. Not a good dancer though. But here's the big problem. Lone wolf. It's a bonus for her, but that also makes me feel like she's the type that if I were to have more than one idol, that they would have conflicts, like, rival type situation. So, unfortunately for this one, I'd have to say, more than likely, if I were to choose between these two right now, it would be a pass on this one here. Next up. Uh-oh. Alright. Now here's this interesting one. So, cute and cool are super, super high, but need improvements. And it also says annoying, so it makes it look like another one that maybe has issues working in a group. Now, to be fair, as far as her potential goes, hers are fairly high compared to like this one here. Her dancing is very limited. It can only go up so high. But her vocals are pretty high. I guess hers is about that way too. So again, it's that whole thing about Kato Ayaka 23. So another one that's, it's not nice to say, but a bit up there is in age as far as like what they consider ideal for an idol. So even though she's got strong stats here, everything else is low, but lots of room for increasing. But it just looked like it would be more of a strain in a group type deal. Now, if I was just focusing on just like one or two idols to start with and only having them do solo events, that's probably no problem. But ideally, I think, the end goal would be to, get them all strong stats and then get them into a super group or something like that. But I think she would just pass over her. But for now, even though most of her stats for potential would be less, I think she would still stay near the top for my ideal pick. But we got two more here, so let's take a look. Okay. Kumuzaki Yuka, age 21. So kind of in between ages between these, compared to these two. Cute and cool are fairly good. Dance and funny, but steadfast. So looks like would be good for control as far as like if we had any penalties, she could handle them. And most importantly, her vocals are okay right now. Her dance, yeah, it needs improvement, but those numbers there are better, 78 and 51 compared to hers here, which were 67 and 26. So dancing, yes, that does need improvement, but it can at least go up higher. And she's got good levels for this, and of course most of hers can actually go up a fair amount. Cute, cool, allure, and pretty. Assuming the same for smart, even though this is covering it up and I don't know how to get rid of that for now. Again, the age, of course I don't even know. They might consider this to be perfectly fine for the ages. Like 23 is still like, oh yeah, she's still got like another 10 years and she can still do stuff. They might just do things differently here. So I think even though I feel like she would be a good one to start off with, it's just because she can have her stats go up so much higher for vocal and dance, which is going to be important for this. I think it's got to go with her. So let's check our final option here, and then we will make our pick. Holy crap. Well, I think there it goes. There's not even no question about it. Because it's a gold. I don't know if it's given that you would actually get something like that, or if I'm just lucky. She has height maintenance, which is bad. But those stats, like, holy crap. Cute, 83. Vocal is already maxed. It's like she doesn't need to worry about anything else. She could, like, she does not need singing lessons. She is, like, basically at the level of a international star, almost. She is funny and smart. Even these stats could go up pretty high. Like, the lowest one's... Is that 89? Goodness. Yeah, I'm sorry, others. You are very nice. I assume you would be perfect. Oh. Wow, it looks like you're lucky enough to find a rare idol, which means that she has a pretty high starting stats, which will probably give her a head start out of any of the other idols. The number above each idol's portrait represents their overall rating. It's essentially an average of all their stats, and it can help when comparing to different idols. Now you've got a chance to look at all these idols, decide who you'd hire. You can hire as many or as few. Okay, so that's good. Because honestly, I feel like these three right here, it's like, she was going to be my pick after these two even. But I think the big question is going to be, since you're just starting out and have no idols, let's hire... Oh, that's perfect. At least 3. Okay. So, yes, absolutely. And you made the cut. You'll have to go in for some singing lessons, but and probably some dance. You're going to need a lot of training, but I think you'll be fine. Dancing lessons for you and singing, but I think you'll be good. Nice, you've hired 3 idols. It looks like there are 2 left in this batch. You could either hire them as well or send them packing. After you're done, click and hold down the finish button on the bottom right corner. Yeah, sorry ladies, but I gotta stick with that. Whew, those auditions really took a lot out of me. Can I have the next few days off? I just need some extra me time to get back to 100%. Really? Are you gonna be that type? Like, your stats are so good, but you're just the worst to work with? Wow, so I'm part of TKO now? I hope my career as an idol isn't short-lived. Well, that sounded pessimistic, so maybe. Glad to be on board. I might not always be the first of the party, but there's a good chance I'll be the last one standing at the end of the night. I guess that's okay. It makes it sound like, you would, like, as far as the stamina goes, you would probably last longer than the others. So I guess that's a good. Okay. Oh, now that your group has idols, it's time to give them something to do. Let's go over to the activities tab in the operations menu. Every day, your group can perform one activity. Activities are color icons with colored icons are available. Grayed out ones are unavailable. Performance will spend idle stamina, but will earn you some money. Promotion will spend stamina to gain some fans. Spa treatment costs money, but will allow 3 idols to recover some of their physical stamina. At the top right side of the screen, you can see how many fans, money, and scandal points your group has. I don't want scandal. It looks like right now your group doesn't have much of a following. Let's fix that by doing a promotion to gain To gain new fans, you can either select promotion or press the left button on your controller. Oh, is that what I did? Okay, left button. Boom. And I did nothing. Okay. Oh, here we go. Well, I'm trying to do it, but it doesn't look like you're going to let me... Like, what am I missing here? I am on the right thing, aren't I? Activity. Game help. I've got... Wait, where are my idols at? Oh. So is this what I'm supposed to do? Or do I need to bring him in here? This game's not really telling me, like... Am I supposed to bring him into the room? Or am I supposed to be doing something else with them? Alright, let's go back to activities. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why I didn't do it the first time. Success! You've got some fans. You can hover over the fans cursor at the top right side of the screen at any time to see the current demographics of your group's fan base. When paused, get time moving again after checking. Again, I cannot see it because this thing is in the way. Oh, I can move it. Oh. Alright. Okay, so the 7 fans we've got... one male hardcore teen, one male hardcore adult, one young adult, and then one casual young adult, and then 2 casual adults, and 1 female hardcore adult. Okay. When pause, get time moving again after checking. Now that it's a new day, let's plan a different activities. Select either performance from the activity pad or press the up button on the controller. Okay. It looks like that brought in a bit of money. Remember, you could do one activity every day, so choose wisely. Since you're first starting out, it might be a good idea to do some more productions to increase your fan following. By the way, the benefit you get from doing a daily activity is based on the level of that daily activity. Hover over each daily activity to see how you can unlock higher levels. So like with this one, maximum payment for one advertising job. Or we could do that. We need to release a single. Okay. Unlocking higher level daily activities is one of the best ways to make faster progress as an idol group. If you're ever stuck, consider checking your daily activities and seeing what requirements are to level up. Whenever your idols work, they spend stamina. You can check their stamina on each idol's card. You can see an idol's physical and mental stamina. Ordinarily, the idols spend physical stamina when working out, but if you force them to work when they're completely exhausted, they will drain their mental stamina instead. And that's a big no-no. We do not want that. Idols with low physical stamina are at greater risk of becoming injured, and idols with low mental stamina can become depressed. Be a good boss, try not to work your idols too hard. Both mental and physical stamina will recover over time, but mental stamina will recover much more slowly. Here you can view your idol stats. By default, it will display their talents. On each idol card, you can select the parameter field to view their relationship status. Oh, these indicate your relationship with each idol, friendship, influence, and romance level. Okay. Friendship is a major how much an idol likes you, increasing it by socializing with them and generally being pleasant whenever you interact with them. Influence is a measure of how indebted an idol feels to you, increase it by doing favors for her. Romance is a measure for, well, you know. You might be able to increase it by flirting, but not everyone will respond well to those kinds of advances. Again, it's just making it seem creepy. You can click on idol to change your nickname or put her on hiatus. Later, when you create multiple idol groups, you can click on them to assign them to different idol groups. Click on the person-shaped icon to bring up the idol's profile screen. Here you can view more detailed information about their stats. The Fans tab will tell you about the demographic of her fan base. The Jobs task will display any contracts an idol gets. The Bands tab will display an idol's relationship with other idols in the group. You can click here to see who she's friends with and see which group members she might not be getting along with. Looks like we don't have very much about her current relationships with other members of the groups. Let's socialize and get to know her better. From the Idol tab, choose an idol and bring the card into the producer's office. It takes time to prepare a social event, so let's let time progress. Remember that you can always fast forward if you want to move faster. Looks like you're ready to socialize with the idol. Let's go get coffee. Casual conversation is a good way to get to know your idols and key to building friendships. Where's my cursor? Try flirting at your own risk. Not everyone is receptive to a romantic overture. You can ask her idol about her wishes to find out what her goals are, helping her fulfill goals or increase your influence. You can ask an idol to share gossip about other group members or ask to mentor younger members of the group. Note that most group members won't share gossip if they're not on friendly terms with you. If you have influence with an idol, you can spread that influence to get her to do certain things. If your idol is bullying another group member, you might need to resort to this option to get her to stop. Every idol graduates and leaves the group eventually. You can ask her when she's planning to graduate or accelerate her graduation. It's best to begin every work relationship by getting to know the other person. Let's engage in some casual conversation with this idol. Did you want to talk about anything particular, or are you just here to chat? Yumoto Rin gives a dedicated description of what she ate for breakfast and talks about the last time she talked with her family. You also find out that she has a poster of Leif Erikson in her bedroom. Leif Erikson, isn't that a Viking? You can't run everything yourself. Idols need to be coached, and you need staffers to help with sales and promotion tests. Let's go hire some. Okay. Click over to the staff tab, located in operations. Click the green hire button on the top. Here you can hire a variety of different staffers. The screen will also show what type of room the staffer works in. For example, dads, coaches, and choreographers work in the dance room. Each staffer will have one of two specializations for their staffer type, but they can still perform the task if they're not a specialist at. You could choose from novice, professional, and expert level staffers. More experienced staffers start with higher stats, but also cost more money to employ. As a starting group with limited budget, it's best to keep our costs low, so let's hire a novice staffer for now. Start by hiring a manager to help us with some business deals. Select either a sales manager or a production manager. Oh, one of these. And let's go with this one. Now our new staffer needs a place to work. Let's go back to the main agency and build an office for her. Click an unused space and select office from the top of the menu. Alright, bring that down. And then bring this card over. If staffers aren't assigned to a particular task, they'll automatically generate research points. Now that you've hired a staff, they'll generate research points whenever they're not working on an assigned task. Looks like you already have some research points. Let's go spend them. You can do so by selecting the Research tab in the Operations menu on the left. Here, you can hover over each type of research point to see how many research points staffers are passively generating each day. You can also buy research points by clicking on the green Buy icon. Let's spend some of the manager points. Select the manager's purchase icon. Wait, what? Ah, here we go. You can spend to unlock different marketing options or unlock different types of business contracts. Let's unlock photo shoot business contract. Click and hold to spend research points on this. Wait, where's it at? What is... Okay, photo shoot. Where's photo shoot? Ah, here we go. Business contract. Alright, once you've unlocked an item with research points, you can spend more research points to level it up in the future. Note that certain items have separate requirements to unlock. For example, unlocking the variety show business contract requires you to have your group to have a certain number of fans in Fame, which is Fame 1 and 10,000 fans. Let's go back to the previous menu. Oh, is this what I was supposed to do? I hope so. Knock, knock. Mind if I come in for a moment? It's good to see you. Oh, no need to roll up the red carpet for me today. I'm just here to let you know an opportunity I found out about. See, I have a friend who works as a TV producer. They're always working to fill programming slots, like quiz shows, that sort of thing. I managed to plant the idea in her head that it'd be a good idea to have a quiz show where producers for different idol groups compete against each other, folks such as yourself. Oh, sounds like a great opportunity. I thought so too. Couldn't have drawn it up any better myself. Well, now that I think about it, I am the one who drew it up. Of course, I don't just let anyone on television. You'll need to have a certain amount of clout before you can get a TV appearance. To put in concrete terms, you need to have enough talent on board to justify calling it an actual idol group. 3 idols as a group, 2 idols as a company, and anything less than that, you're playing with yourself. I see TKO has 3 members already, so you're already big enough. Also, you need to release a single. You don't have to top the charts or anything like that. Just having a physical CD that people could go out and purchase lends the group a bit more credibility. Plus, I would give you something to promote on the show. Or it would give you something to promote on the show. Anyway, that's up for you to work toward. In the meantime, I'll keep shaking hands and greasing palms and look forward to the day I get to see you on TV. Oh, here we go. Different stepper types could be used to research different items. For example, you'll use music research points to unlock different musical genres, and use research points to unlock different styles of choreography. You have a manager working for you. Let's have her make some business proposals. Click on the staffer's office and select business proposal. Oh, here we go. It'll take some time for her to finish. Remember, they can always fast forward to make time progress faster by using the right button on the controller. Wait, did I put her in here to socialize? Or did it not go? Alright. Socialize. Looks like she's finished creating a business proposal. Click on the yen icon and see. Each client will be looking for an idol who is good at a particular stat. You get to choose which idol participates. You have 3 options. How good the rewards are depend on how good the idol is in the desired stat the client is looking for. Your staffer can try to negotiate a better rate. The number of times she can negotiate is based on the staffer's deal stat. Renegotiating a deal can result in a better or worse result. The results are random, which the odds of success are determined by the staffer's deal stats. Once you have an outcome you like, click the accept button. You can also accept by hitting R3. Let me see if I can move this now. Monday is the name of the magazine, I guess. A girl to do a cool photo shoot for the next issue of their magazine. So her cool's 40, hers is 10, hers is 21. So I guess she's got the best right now, so. How do I pick them? Oh, it's already selected. Okay. You could also have a staffer automatically generate business proposals. Click on the staffer and select Auto Proposals option from the menu. When this box is ticked, the staffer will automatically generate business proposals whenever she isn't working on anything else. Note this means she won't regenerate research points. Different types of business proposals have different benefits. You can click on the staffer's office and choose a preferred proposal type for her to focus on them among the business. More proposal types can be unlocked from the research menu. You've been using a lot of the menu tabs, and like idle and activities, you know that you can switch between menu tabs using shortcuts. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. Let's return to the default agency view. Close. You can also press the touchpad. On the default agency view, you can get an overview of how many research points you currently have. Let me move this again. You can move the buttons here, shortcuts, activities like promotion, performance, and spa treatment. These activities can also be triggered using up, left, and down. You can view pending tasks from the default menu. Press the touchpad to take a look at your pending tasks. Looks like there's a story event waiting for you. Progress through the game's story will require you to complete objectives, which are detailed here. Meeting the requirements for a story doesn't automatically trigger the event or the story event. You'll need to come back to the screen and select the story task when you're ready to advance. But be warned, the world will march to the beat of its own drums, and sometimes certain story events will happen automatically. In addition to the story tasks, sometimes characters will give you optional tasks to complete, which will appear on this screen. You can socialize with an idol, ask about her wishes. It'll be up to a task there. You might also need to get a task to take out a loan from a certain someone. With story events, you need to come back to this screen and select the task after meeting the requirements in order to complete the task. If you ever get stuck and aren't sure how to progress the story, you can always go back to this screen to view the requirements for the next story event. It's time to hire a dance staffer. Head over to the staff tab located in the operations menu on the left. You can choose novice, professional, and expert level staffers, or experienced staffers with higher stats but also more money to employ. Let's hire a dance coach from the top of the list. Bring the hired trainer to the hired dance trainer to the staff tab in the DAFs. Blah, 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 blah. If staffers aren't assigned to a particular task, they'll automatically regenerate research points. Dance research points could be used to unlock new choreography styles. It's time to hire a music staffer. Let's hire a voice coach or a music producer from the hiring staff tab. Yeah, I think I want a voice coach. And they need a place to work. I don't have room. Game, do you know that? Dance coaches and vocal coaches help idols improve their dance and vocal stats. Let's have your dance stat for coach and idol. Go to the idol tab. Select and bring her into the dance studio. I can't remember which. No. Which one brings up their stats? Alright, your dance is fine. Yours was low. Okay, we'll go with you. Dance studio. Note that staffer can only coach an idol if the staffer's coaching stat is higher than the idol's stat. For example, a dance staffer with a coaching stat of 20 won't be able to coach an idol whose dance stat is 20 or higher. This consumes idol stamina. Be careful not to overwork your idols. You can click on the staffer's room and select auto practice to have them automatically coach idols whenever they're not working on anything else. To produce a single, you need to have hired a dance manager, music staffer, dance staffer, music staffer, manager staffer. You must also go to the research tab and unlock at least one lyric type, marketing strategy, choreography, style, and genre of music from each staffer's menu in the research tab. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and also put her in here. All right, research. At least one lyric type. Well, I need 432, so apparently that means I'm not going to get it right now. All right, let's go back to, what would it be, marketing strategy then? Well, that also costs like so many points. I guess I could do this. It's a little bit, but it'll at least get things going. Alright. So, one lyric type. Let's go with happiness. Marketing strategy. Digital only release. We'll go with that. Choreography style. I guess energetic would probably be the one to go with. It's like, yeah, a little bit less with casual, but ideally, I think it's the hardcore fans that we want to get. And then music genre. Pop is probably the way to go. It's also a good idea to wait until your group has some fans who will be willing to buy the single. Lacking fans? Do some promotion activities under the Activities tab. You can carry out promotion activities by pressing the left button on the controller. It's time to create your first single. Open the Singles tab from the Operations menu on the left and select New Single. I'm not doing that yet, game. Gotta give things like a second to chill. Oh, she is tired. Well, Well, in that case, let me go ahead and build the break room. Alright, fine. Okay, singles. New single? Start by choosing a name. You can type a name for your single or click the randomization icon to have the game choose a song title for you. Well, I think we're going to go random. What? Choose a marketing plan, genre, music, lyric, and choreography style. Which one you will affect? You can only select unlocked items. Well, I don't like the name of that, so... He's waiting for you. He's from out of town. I am the one. She's got her eye on you. We're in love. You love me. Sure. Okay, so it's a happiness. It's pop, digital only release. Why would you have choreography in it? Whatever. Well, okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay, you'll need to select a number of CDs to produce. This doesn't play your marketing plan if you do a digital only. As far as I know, for this game, they do highly recommend just doing digital only release, so you don't have to worry about spending too much money, or like, yeah, basically that type of deal. Like you either have too many or too few. Click continue after you're done. It's time to choose which idols will participate. Well, I would have to say for the first one, we're going to have to go with the one that's got the best vocals, and it's definitely not going to be any of the others, so it's going to be Yamato Rin. The team chemistry stat is based on how well the idol and formation are getting along with each other. Putting a bully in formation could have a negative effect on team chemistry. Being chosen as a center can also boost an idol's individual career. Is one of your idols wishing to be center? Click continue after you're done. Yeah, it's just going to be her for now. Now that you've had all the choices been made, it's time to produce your single. You'll need to have your character write the lyrics, have a music staffer work on the song, dance staffer choreography, manager staffer create the marketing icons. Successful single depend on their stats. Start by bringing the singles tab card into the producer's office to work on the lyrics. Oh, me? Okay. Completing all the production tasks associated with the single will take some time. Alright. Looks like Tokyo Wanker is looking for a girl to do a cute photo shoot for the next issue. And actually, you know what? I probably should go ahead and go back to putting them in their respective deals again. Okay, bring your singles card into another staff member's office to have your staffers do the remaining work. Your producer can carry out all the production tasks, although the quality may drop. It might be useful to find yourself in a pinch. Okay. Let me pause. Alright, weekly spy for a pretty photo shoot. 59, 12. Jeez, talk about mean. Yeah, we'll do that. Can we negotiate? Yeah, that's better. Alright, we'll move this over here, and then let me check the girls again real quick. Okay, her vocal's up to 7 now. She's still got a ways to go. Maybe I should just do auto. Oh, I guess they're busy at the moment, so we'll not do that. But we can put you in here. Oops, what'd that do? Ah, I hit the wrong thing. Alright, and back to... I guess I should find out how to save. Save. New save. File name. Save. Oh, I probably should bring this up just to make sure that she's not going to get worn out. Her physical stamina is pretty good, though, so I think she'll be good for a while. Oh, I've got the wrong person at dance practice. Gosh darn it. Or are they going back and forth? I guess I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, okay, yeah. Get out of there. Well, okay, you're in there now, okay. All right. It won't. What? Okay. Casual conversation it is. Could dice an onion without crying. All right. Apparently she did have a business proposal, but it fell through. I notice my left analog stick is drifting again, which could be a problem. Friendship. World record for eating ramen. I guess I could go ahead and bring her back in here. All right. Weekly Young is looking for a girl to do a cool photo shoot. Well, since she is the one that we're getting ready to do a single on. Oh, what happened to Yamoto's stamina? How can I... She's not doing anything right now, so what's going on? Break room. Okay, just don't do anything. Oh, I bet it was because of that business proposal. It took everything out of her. Yeah, it wants her to do it again, but her stats are not great, so I guess we would have to pick someone else for it. They want it cool? Alright, click the release button from the singles card to release your single. Let's do that first before we go any further. Oh, here we go. Maybe not the best, but 41 new fans is not awful. Alright, let's go ahead and hit the next story then. Or are we ready for it? Upgrade promotion and performance to level 2. Have I done that yet? Okay. Well, I guess that's it. I'm not sure if there's anything else I should really look at right now. Oh, her mental's not good either. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do with her. Alright, well. Upgrade promotion and performance to level 2. Promotion and performance. Well, I guess I'll just leave everyone as they are right now. I guess I just keep going and see what happens. Oh. Hey, I thought I'd stop by. I can see by the binders on your desk that you've been consulting some of the business notes I gave you. That's good. Part of the binder mentioned you by name. As I said, they were written by a former associate of mine. I trusted them enough to run some of my business operations, and they did quite well. So any advice I had to give is probably worth taking. Hope they're not saying anything bad about me. Hello, sir. You can call me by my name. Oh, alright then. Are you sure that's alright? I'm not really in the habit of addressing superiors by their given name, so it might slip back into habit. I hope that's not a problem. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about a few things. Specifically, we need to set a number of guidelines for how the girls behave and how events are run. It could be chaotic if things aren't consistent. I think it's best to have a set policy in place so that everyone is working with the same rule book, so to speak. What policies do you recommend? Well, I'm not sure I recommend any specific set of policies. Different organizations have different sets of rules, and each set of rules has its own pros and cons. The policies that TKO has will be part of what sets it apart from other groups. Of course, thus set in stone, you can always change your mind if you don't like the current set of policies. In fact, it's pretty common for new groups to be flexible when they first start off and adapt their policies depending on what seems to work best. The longer you stick with a given policy, the more people come to expect certain things from you. When an organization gains more of a reputation, the people get more used to running things a certain way. Changing policies could take a while. You might have to wait longer for the benefits to show up. But since we're a young organization, we have time to change things around. So if you're a bit unsure, no need to stress over a particular policy decision. You can always adjust it later. Sorry, that was probably a bit more explanation than you needed. You're the boss. You don't need me to explain how your organization works. In fact, you're supposed to be the one who tells everyone else how things work. So with that in mind, what kind of business proposals do you think would be the most promising? Photo shoots would probably be good, but I'm just going to say don't focus on any particular. A balanced approach definitely has its values. That being said, it might be helpful for me to tell you about the other kinds of deals. Do you want me to tell you about the specific kinds of business deals? Yeah, I'd like to hear specific details. Alright, what do you want me to tell you about? Photo shoots. One-time gigs, good for quick infusion of cash without having to worry about long-term contracts. If you're looking to maximize short-term revenue, it's hard to do better than a photo shoot. Do you want me to focus on photo shoots? I guess it is pretty much telling me right now, so... Well, yeah, tell me about the others. Advertisements. Advertising campaigns require to sign a 3-month contract. They could be a good source of recurring income since we get paid weekly for the duration, and any aisle that appears will also get a modest bit of exposure. But whichever aisle gets chosen for the deal will go in every week to record new spots, so it's a real time commitment. Maybe we should just stick to photos for now. Yes. Well, I might be focused on trying to get a certain kind of business proposal. Sometimes other opportunities will fall into your lap. I'll be sure to let you know about those when they come up, even if they're not the kind we're focusing on at the moment. Recently, I've been thinking about the branding of TKO. What kind of vibe do you want people to associate with our group? Cute. That sounds like a safe brand image, and I'm kind of practical to that vibe myself, too. Alright, another branding question. What kind of fans are we trying to attract? Image we're trying to project. Probably Orthodox. An Orthodox image. That should score some points with more traditional idol fans, and by that I mean male fans, or the older demographics. They could be reliable consumers, but fans of Orthodox groups are less tolerant of scandals, so please bear that in mind going forward. I'm going to try to avoid scandals, but we'll see. We could conduct background checks during recruitment process. A more rigorous background check will make the recruitment process more expensive, but will help filter out the bad apples. How intensive do you want our background checks to be? Maybe just a basic. That should help screen out some of the more problematic candidates. We also need to talk about social media. Since anything about the Isles post online is going to reflect the organization, part of the Isles contract allows us to set rules governing their public social media use. What kind of policy do you regard social media? I was like, yeah, I don't want to just say no, but we can't just let them say whatever they want. So, pre-moderated. If we want them at all. Streaming. Again, it's like, yeah, I want them to have the option if they want to, but I also don't want them going on and being stupid. So, I've heard some streamers collect donations from viewers and actually make a bit of side income. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing either. We need to have dating policy. There are more, shall we say, invested fans who don't like the idea of idols dating. They think it ruins part of the appeal. On the other hand, not allowing idols to date is kind of the thing that would seem draconian to less invested fans, and that might be a bit of a turnoff. It could boost their self-esteem, but it could also just as easily end up being a distraction. If we give strict rules against dating, then anything remotely scandalous is going to be a much bigger deal than if we were more permissive. On the other hand, having a loose and flexible policy means more likely that scandals will happen in the first place. We could also try hedge our bets by not setting an official policy. And no matter what kind of daily policy we have, it probably won't do anything to discourage the idols from becoming remotely involved within the group. That kind has been known to happen. Although it's just an internal thing, it's easier to keep that kind of thing under wraps, so it probably wouldn't be an issue regardless. Ambiguous. Keep out of it. Oh yeah, if you could handle salaries for me, that would be awesome. Keep idol satisfaction at moderate levels. Have you set any policies on things like event security? A great point. In fact, we should probably decide on that right now. We need to figure out our security policy is going to be at events where idols interact with fans. You know, live appearances, handshake events, that sort of thing. Hardcore fans don't like seeing security anywhere, but having good security in place will make the girls feel safer. What kind of security should we have? Normal. Keep it in the middle, so that way, you know, there's at least one or two there to keep an eye on them. But don't make them feel like they're either being smothered or abandoned. I've been thinking about clothing choices, how skirts can wardrobe accidents. Depending on dance moves, fans might see a bit more than we want them to see. Yeah, I think I do catch your drift. I'm sure that hardcore fans will get a kick out of seeing the girls with short skirts, but less hardcore fans are into that kind of thing. If we go with longer skirts, some of the male fans won't be too happy, but it'd probably go over better with female fans, and it would please some of the hardcore fans without alienating more casual. We could have them wear short skirts and safety shorts, less of a wardrobe, but that would keep the hardcore fans moderately. That would keep hardcore fans moderately happy. Or just have them wear pants. That one actually sounds like the safest one. Short skirts and safety shorts. It's the traditional look that the hardcore fans want, but without the risk of wardrobe malfunction or wardrobe accident. When it comes to live performances, what do you think is better, quality or energy? Energy and enthusiasm sounds actually pretty nice. When a fan sees a girl who's singing her heart out and isn't holding anything back, or someone who's dancing so passionately that they're sweating on stage, that's the kind of thing that makes them a fan for life. I'll do my part to make sure every live performance is special. Of course, if you ever change your mind, you can always change the group policies. Alright, so that's how we're going to get our options for that type of stuff. Hey, just want to see how you're doing. How's my first week on the job? I'm doing fine. Glad to hear it. I knew you'd be a natural at this. Anyway, you might be interested to know that I recently tapped into my professional network and managed to get you a small mention on a local news broadcast. I also talked to several folks who run a business in the area and got them to put up promotional materials for a while. It's not exactly making the big time, but it'll at least get attention for people who are nearby. Well, that's very generous of you. Hey, I'm a stakeholder. What's good for you is good for me, right? Of course, I want to help you succeed. I can't do this sort of thing all the time, but I can make sure you have a successful launch. And on a professional, or on a more personal level, I figured I'd let you know I'm going to do right by you. If you'll do right for me, you dig? Relationships are a two-way street. I'm hoping that in the future you'll be a position and to return the favor. That sounds bad. Of course, I don't mean it make it seem like a bigger deal than this. More people in the area are going to have an awareness of your group. That doesn't automatically turn them into fans, but does mean that when you promote the group, people will be more likely to pay attention. You might gain more fans than you would originally, thanks to the temporary boost. Ditto for performances. People are more likely to check out a group they've been hearing of recently, so you might see a small boost in attendance and revenue. Oh, now it's time for story. I'll let it go by another day or two. Alright. Physical stamina is starting to go up for her. Mental is still on the rocks. Kind of to be expected. Alright, let's pause. Photo shoot for Sad Panda magazine. That's gonna be this one here. And yeah. Okay. Well, let me get her finished up in the recording studio. Okay. So, I wouldn't say it's like been a huge deal of progress today. Trying to just get into it. Oh, there we go. But I think this is a good place to stop for now. I don't even know, is there... Oh, there it is, main menu. Okay. So, yeah. Nice little introduction to this game. Definitely different, not for everyone, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. Just gotta get associated with how things go, kind of get a feel for how I need to do things, and then should be okay. I still think I'm gonna stick to the plan of having... I might try to recruit one more, but not gonna go over 5 for sure, at least to start with. And then we'll see how things go as far as like releasing singles and all that. See, I guess just kind of pay attention to what it says on the story requirements and work on stuff that way and hope I don't go bankrupt. But yeah, that's gonna be, well, that's it for me for today, but this is basically where you're going to expect from me for the foreseeable future whenever I'm on the stream. Should be on again tomorrow. Might be about the same time. Yeah. If you're enjoying it, let me know. If there's enough persuasion to maybe stop this and move on to something else, I might. But I don't know. I want to give this a fair shot. I'm hoping this could be something that I get really into and can really do, like, manage, like, figure out how to play it and capitalize and get things going really well so I can, like, really expand and do stupid, crazy stuff with it. But we'll just have to see. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, until next time, I will see you later, and take care.